Hello and welcome. I'm Joe Lavicek, Product Manager for Motorization here at Springs Window Fashions. Today we're going to talk about setting up your Signature Series demo kit featuring the Nexia shade control app. A quick look at the demo kit. We'll kind of walk through all of the various components, but it's meant to be a very professional presentation for your customers, whether it's in-home, at a home show, or in your sales office. And what's included? Letter A, you can see, I'm going to try and use my cursor here, is the branded display itself with all of the components mounted to it. There is a standard outlet that's pre-installed so that you can operate the Schlage light module, which also acts as a repeater. The Nexia home automation bridge you can see here. Important to note that it is just Velcroed on, and you will need to access the MAC, M-A-C, the MAC ID address on the back of that. Amazon Echo, we want to make sure that we have accessibility for a voice control option for the demo kit, and that again adds a lot of sizzle to the presentation. Mentioned the Schlage light control module, which also acts as a repeater, and that's the primary reason that it's supplied as part of this bundle kit, is to make sure that if you have your bridge located far away from distant shades, for example, in my home I have the Nexia bridge located right next to my router, which happens to be in the basement of my home. I want to be able to reach the most distant shades in the system. So having that repeater between the bridge and that faraway shade is going to make sure that the system is as reliable as possible. Not pictured here, and I'll show you in a moment, the I/O gear universal Wi-Fi adapter. And what we're going to spend some time on during this presentation is the setup of that I/O gear device, because it's not something many of you have probably interfaced with before. Inside the unit is a power strip, so all of these devices are conveniently plugged in. And then, of course, if you didn't get it with your demo kit, it's supplied via SWF Connect, the setup and installation instructions, if you will. So make sure you have everything ready to go, and we'll move forward. Again, we're going to pay special attention to the setup of the I/O gear device because it's not something most of you have typically interfaced with. It does require a computer with an Ethernet jack to set it up. If you're going to be using this in a portable format, taking it into people's homes, it's going to be important that you have the ability to have a ready-to-go internet connection versus always having to rely on the customer's Wi-Fi. It also, in scenarios where you are going to use a local Wi-Fi, you do have to have that computer with the Ethernet jack in order to be able to set up the Wi-Fi connection to the bridge. So again, we recommend a local hotspot, a smartphone or something like that. The I/O gear device itself, you can see some of the system requirements in terms of the Windows formats and the Mac formats that it's compatible with. The instructions are very complete. Again, the device itself and the instructions walk through all of the features, including the LEDs that are available on the device to provide feedback for you. The installation process itself, and we're going to actually go through the video of this so we can see it in kind of real time. But step one, you got to turn off your computer's wireless connection. Step two is actually installing that Ethernet cable and a USB cable that will go directly into your computer. Then you're going to have to access your computer's control panel to set up a static IP address. The process, again, we'll click through this in real time in just a moment. You're going to have to go to View Network Status and Tasks, select that, change adapter settings. Once you locate your local area connection, we have to actually right-click to get to the Properties section. And then we select Internet Protocol version 4. Again, we are walking directly through the instructions that are provided with the I/O gear device right now. Select Properties again. And in most cases, we'll be changing from a setting called Obtain an IP address automatically and selecting the Use the following IP address, and we will type that in. And finally, we will open up a web browser and put that static IP address in. And again, a couple more steps and we will be connected to the IO Gear device. It will be important that we have that hotspot or Wi-Fi connection available. And when we get to this step, wireless site survey, we will actually see the available wireless networks that you can connect to. Once this is all done, you're going to want to return your computer to its original settings, including back to that automatic obtain IP address automatically, and make sure that the setting for obtain DNS server address automatically is also set. Once all of this is done, we can unplug the IO Gear device from the computer, reinstall it in the demo kit, turn on the hotspot on your smart device, and you will be ready to finish your setup of your Nexia Bridge and your Amazon Echo. Alright, again, first thing we're going to do is remove the IO Gear device from the demo kit. It's Velcroed on. Unplug the Ethernet cord and the USB connection that's actually powering. And then translate that to plugging it into your computer, the USB primarily for power for the device. And then the Ethernet cable, again, you must have a computer with an Ethernet jack. Plug that in and we will be ready to start that setup process. One last thing is we do have to turn off the wireless capability of your computer. In my case, my laptop computer has a switch on the right hand side, and I simply turn off that wireless control. Okay, click your Start menu, then Control Panel, View Network Status and Tasks. Then we're going to change adapter settings. Local area network coming up. We're going to right click on this local area network, select properties, and then we're going to select the Internet Protocol version 4, TCP/IP4. And here's where we're going to actually change the IP address. So make that selection, type in the numbers that are directly in the instructions, and we're going to press OK after we've completed that process. The next steps will include actually connecting that IO Gear device to, in our case, a local hotspot. So we do have to go to our smartphone in my case and select Settings, Hotspot. We'll turn that hotspot on, and now we're ready to go to a web browser. And in that web browser, we're going to type in the number 192.168.1.252, and again, this is in your install instructions. Here you can see I've already done it before, so it auto-populates in my browser, and we can see that the IO Gear device can now be seen. We're going to select Site Survey here, and this is actually going to go out and look for available Wi-Fi networks, and you can see at the very top is my iPhone or my hotspot. Select that, put in my password, and press Connect. So it may take a moment here while the bridge or the Wi-Fi connector actually finds my hotspot, and it should acknowledge. There we go. Connection successful. So press OK, and we have completed the setup process for the IO Gear device. And this is a one-time process. So you can see on my smartphone I have feedback that I have one connection to my hotspot. This is a one-time setup, so now you're ready to reinstall that in the demo kit, and anytime you power up the demo kit and your hotspot, it will automatically locate that connection, and you'll be able to use your demo kit remotely, again, in consumers' homes, home shows, wherever you have a good hotspot connection. Reinstall the IO Gear device, Velcro, Ethernet, plug it back in, power up your demo kit, and confirm via your hotspot that you've made that connection back to the Wi-Fi device. Okay, with the IO Gear Wi-Fi to Ethernet device set up, attached to a hotspot or Wi-Fi connection, and plugged in to your Nexia Bridge, you are ready to set up your Nexia account and enroll the products. Locate www.mynexia.com and you will be given the option to either log in with an existing account or sign up now by pressing the green box here. So what we're going to do is walk through a sign up of a new account. By selecting the green box, it'll take you to the contact information setup. This is name, address, and phone number, not unlike setting up any other online account. Of course, you're going to want to make sure you apply the correct time zone for your location for the various timing functions that you're going to operate within the Nexia app. Press continue. Press continue. The Nexia system is going to ask for some purchase information. I believe I put in retail store and SWF as the retail store and primary residence in terms of where we plan to install the Nexia. Press continue. When it's looking for a feature code, this is not the promo code that is located in the blue envelope. The promotion code is in an upcoming screen. There is no feature code that you need to enroll at this point. Alright, so forward here to the promotion code. This is where we're going to need that blue envelope, and in the center of the document in the blue envelope there is a promotional code that needs to be entered into this box. Pay careful attention. It is a long number, I believe 12-digit letter alphanumeric number that you're going to need to put in there, and press apply. Alright, once in the Nexia portal, it's going to walk you through some of the features and functions of the dashboard that you see here. Go ahead and click next right through each of those call-out boxes. Again, this is just a good overview of what you're looking at in the Nexia app. And the first thing we're going to want to do is enroll that Nexia home bridge. Once that bridge is enrolled into your account, you actually won't see that option listed in the device list that you see here any longer. So this is a one-time setup. The Nexia system is going to walk you through all of the basic instructions from here forward, including having support videos on the right-hand navigation that you see here in that resources box. So you should have no problem in terms of setting up your Nexia system. Keep in mind as you read through these required items, our Ethernet cord that you see listed here is the Ethernet cord that's installed or attached to our I/O gear device that we set up earlier. The MAC ID is very important, and it is unique to this specific bridge. Must be enrolled here, the 12-digit MAC ID. Again, this is an alphanumeric number that you're going to put into that box. You must get it exactly right, otherwise you're going to have enrollment problems. The bridge is velcroed to your demo kit, so it can be removed so you can access that MAC ID address on the back. Also, on the instruction sheet that came with the Nexia bridge, there is a location to document or write down that bridge ID. And I suggest that on that same document is a great location to also put your username and password so that all of your important numbers are kept in one location. So now we're ready to start enrolling our devices. So select Add Devices here, the green button. We're going to get a list of the various devices to enroll. We're going to select Lighting and Power Modules, Schlage Dimmer, Enroll. And again, this will walk you through all of the steps. It'll give you the specific instructions, including the double click that you have to do on the light module itself. You want to make sure that you have the night light turned on and plugged into the Z-Wave side of the plug-in module. And then again, just follow the steps. It will provide this feedback. And once enrolled, you'll want to name it. You can call it Light 1, whatever you want to call it. Keep the name very simple so when you do set up your Alexa system, she can easily locate it and translate the commands to that light. And one of the other things that's real important as you enroll devices, whether it's this plug-in module or whether it's a shade, Make sure that you test it before you move on. Make sure everything's operating properly so that you don't end up having to go back in the process. So here you can see it's enrolled. It's actually the second light module in my system here. And I'm going to test that, confirm that the night light does in fact turn off. I get feedback from the user interface as well with a success message. Alright, next we'll move on in the process to enroll your window treatment, and that will include enrolling the remote control as well. It's very important that the shade is enrolled first as you go through this process. So by selecting window coverings here, we're going to first select Z-Wave shade. And again, all of the instructions are going to be built into the application here to walk you through it. In fact, on the right-hand navigation here, you'll see that there's a resources section and a very useful video. And we're actually going to show you that video here that will walk through the enrollment process for the window covering and the remotes. Welcome. This video will demonstrate the enrollment process of your motorized shade with Nexia. There are 3 basic steps to the enrollment process. Step 1, exclude, which prepares the shades and remotes by dismantling their factory network connection. Step 2, include, which enrolls the shades and remotes to the Nexia network. And finally, step 3, associate, which pairs the remotes back to their respective shades for local control. Exclude. The exclusion process is necessary because your Z-Wave shades were programmed at the factory to ensure proper standalone operation. To exclude the factory network on the remotes, press and hold the recessed button on the back of the remotes with a paperclip or other small device. The LEDs on the front of the remote will cycle from flashing green to flashing amber and then finally flashing red before turning off. This is your indication that the process is complete. After we have excluded all remotes from their factory network, we can exclude the shades. To exclude the shades, locate the program button on the motor head. Press and hold the program button until the flashing green LED changes to solid amber and then the shade jogs. This is a brief down and up movement of the shade. After the exclusion process, the shade travel limits are maintained, so no further adjustment is necessary. The inclusion process with Nexia begins in the user portal. On the portal dashboard, select Add Device. Nexia will present a list of device types to select from. Select Window Coverings, then within Window Coverings, select Z-Wave Window Shade. After reviewing the Getting Started instructions, press Continue. This will take you to the device enrollment. Here you will press Continue again. You will have 4 minutes to access the shade and execute the enrollment process. Once the Nexia device enrollment window appears, press and hold the shade's program button until the LED flashes green and a release. Back at the user portal, Nexia will acknowledge successful enrollment. Next, you will have the opportunity to name the shade for easy indication in the user interface and complete the setup process. The final setup step is to press Setup Device. And provided you're happy with the name you've provided, press Save Changes. Now that the shade is enrolled, we can enroll the remote or remotes for the system as well. The process is basically the same. Press Add Device, select Window Coverings, Enroll Virtual Cord, and like we did with the shade before, press Continue to start the enrollment process. Now on the remote control you are enrolling, press and hold the program button until the LED begins to flash green and release. Once the enrollment process is complete, name the control to associate with its shade or shades and press Continue.
Follow this process for each remote in the system. Our final step is to associate the remotes back to their respective shades for local control. The process is simple. Take our newly enrolled remote and press and release the program button one time until the LED begins to flash alternating green. Next, access the program button on the shade and press and hold until the LED begins to flash green. When association is complete, the LED on both the shade and the remote will turn solid green, acknowledging the association. Follow this process for each remote to shade pairing you desired. That completes the enrollment and setup process for your motorized shades and remotes with Nexia. To operate multiple shades together as a group, use the automations feature within Nexia. Please contact us if additional assistance is needed.
The last steps in the setup process for the Nexia demo include making the connection to Alexa. So to enroll or set up Alexa, you're going to download the Alexa app. Make sure you have the demo unit powered up. She'll basically provide you with instructions verbally that you will walk through. I'll hit a couple of high points in terms of the screens that you'll be using in the Alexa app. And then within the Alexa app, we want to make sure we enable the Nexia skill. So very quickly, we'll walk through some of this. To access the settings, we're going to go up to the menu in the upper left-hand corner, select Settings, Set Up New Device. This is an Echo Dot. English, we'll press Continue. Again, Alexa will prompt you through most of this setup.
You've connected to Echo Dot. Go ahead and finish the setup in your Alexa app.
Follow her instructions. She will ask you to go to your settings on your smart device to locate the connection with the Amazon account, if you will. And you're going to want to select that and finish the enrollment within the app, and then the app will prompt you when everything is completed. In order to set up the Nexia skill, you'll go to that same menu, drop down, select Skills, and you'll need to type in Nexia and do a search. And once you locate Nexia, you'll select that. You'll be prompted to enable the Nexia skill, and you will use your username and password to make the connection between Alexa and Nexia. Alexa, discover devices.
Starting discovery. This will take up to 20 seconds. If you haven't already, please enable the Smart Home skill for your smart device from the Alexa app. I found one new switch called Night Light. To control it, say, turn off night light.
Alexa, turn off night light. Alexa, turn on night light. The very final step is to make sure, if you haven't already, get the Nexia app on your phone, sign into your account, make sure everything works, and then go sell motorized shades.